Brats, you probably saw recently BoboVR came out with this M2 Pro strap that I am in love with the battery pack on how it works. Well, now they're launching something to go with all that, keep it all charged and ready to go. Let's open up this charging dock. We have here the BoboVR D2 charging dock for the Quest. This is made specifically for their battery pack, for their strap, for your Quest 2. It's supposed to do it all. Let's open it up. Very compact box, I'm surprised. Usually the docks are pretty big. It's got some heft to it, it's got some weight. Shows us that there is an adapter in here to make this thing magnetic and work. Oh, coasters. These are BoboVR controller areas. The way those look, I guess you just have those nearby so that when you want to put your controllers down, you're not slamming them on the desk. They're made of rubber, it feels like, or silicone. So they give you a spot for your controllers because the dock doesn't actually charge the controllers. Unlike some of the other docks that do all that for you, this one is not going to charge your controllers. You're still going to be using normal batteries for your controllers. But let's take a look at the dock. Pretty simple. It's lighter than I would like it to be. I know that it is a nightmare for shipping to add weight to your products, but one thing a lot of you might not know about like the Anker charging dock, it has a bunch of weights in it. And that's why it feels so premium. When you hold that Anker charging dock, you're like, wow, this feels nice. I look at a teardown and it's just a few cables and then weight packs in it to make it feel hefty. So it feels like some weight in this wouldn't have hurt it, because I definitely think you might find if there's nothing on it, you might knock it around a little bit. We've got the adapter here, so let's see how this installs. So you've got your normal cable that runs into the side here. You want to put this in here, makes that big, and then that goes in there. So you're adding a little bit of space out there to it. Probably not much to be concerned about, but I know some people worry about knocking that off the motherboard inside, so that might be something to be aware of. Whew, thing made no, how? It's not plugged in right now. How did it do that just now? Okay, I'm a little puzzled. One thing I am gonna knock here, I would like a little bit longer of a cable. We got about a 4-foot cable right here. If you're gonna be putting this dock somewhere, who knows how long of a cable you're gonna need. And of course it doesn't come with a power brick because nothing does anymore. I wouldn't mind seeing a power brick, and I wouldn't mind, I don't know what is going on there. I wouldn't mind seeing some distance on this thing. So give me a second, I'm gonna have to even find an extension cord here. These controller area pads, they have kind of a sticky back. I say that and they're already picking stuff up off the desk here. They have kind of a sticky back, so you might not wanna take those out until you're kind of closer to its normal resting spot, because like a lot of those, it'll probably lose some of its ability after a while. It's nice, I guess, that it gives you a place for the controllers, and they look kind of cool. They're branded and stuff. One weirdly sticky rubbery pad here. Now my question, ooh, that is sticky. It almost feels like candy, like that gummy, gross candy that leaves you all sticky after you touch it. So their solution to not adding those extra weights that's really gonna hold this down, they send you this sticky pad. You wanna put this where this is gonna land. So I'm not actually gonna put this on this table because I don't wanna ruin the stickiness right now, but basically you stick that down somewhere, and then once this thing's on it, it's not gonna slide around nearly as much on you. Ooh, it's so sticky. It's like rubber tar almost. Like if fruit by the foot got wet and was really sticky. It's an extra step they added. I feel like adding more weight, again, I know shipping, that's an issue, but like, I feel like making this thing just heavier where it would stay on its own would make it seem a little bit nicer than adding something like this in there. So we've got it plugged in right now. It's got one light on. Says in the manual, not have your battery pack on when you're trying to use this. Maybe this was leaching power into here and that's why it was beeping when it wasn't plugged into the wall. So what you do is you drop this on here, makes that sound, shows you the headset's charging right here with this light, and then your battery pack drops in here, magnetic style, and now it shows that the battery's charging as well. So for those of us who already sprung for 2 batteries, I guess you're just gonna have to swap your batteries out. On the dock, there's only space for 1. I was kind of hoping there'd be space for 2. It seemed like it was encouraged, get a second one. That way you always have your Quest ready to go. Basically what's gonna happen when I wanna play my Quest now is I'd pick this up, smack that battery on there, and then I'd probably put this in here. It's a small detail, but I also kind of wish the battery pack had faced this way, because it's a little weird that you take it off and then you have to turn it around. Very small detail. Maybe I'm a nitpicky person, but I just feel like it'd be simple. Like take it off and boom, you gotta take it off and then flip it around. But then while you're playing right now, this thing's all charged, I'm ready to go. This one would be charging, ready to hot swap for those long sessions. I don't love the fact that you're not supposed to leave the battery pack, because I feel like when I'm done playing, I'm just gonna wanna throw this whole thing on there. You gotta kind of remember to take that off. For those of you who only have 1 battery, this is actually gonna be simpler and easier for you than if, like me, you ended up with 2 batteries, because right now I'm not supposed to leave this on there, even though I really wanna do that. A few minor flaws. It doesn't scoot around nearly as bad with the Quest 2 on there, so I feel like you're not gonna have much issue with that. And if you have this thing on your table, it's probably not gonna scoot anywhere. And then you're gonna have your BoboVR controller areas nearby. It's another detail that I feel like it wouldn't have been bad, you know, have something, even if it doesn't charge them, have a spot for the controllers on this thing, you know, have a nice little seated place in the plastic where they could set on there or something. Little surprised, maybe they're thinking about adding a second unit that's gonna sit next to this eventually for your controllers to charge up. out. They haven't told me that. I don't know. I just feel like that would be a nice detail. Only other things here I'm kind of looking for when I look at this thing, it doesn't have an additional USB port or anything. So like if you have their fan and you want to charge their fan while you're doing this, you don't have a simple cable hook something up for your fan. You're gonna have to run something separate. An interesting detail here, if I were to drop the battery on there, which it says not to do, but I'm testing it for you, it actually turns this off, showing you it's no longer charging the headset and the battery is charging the headset instead of that. If you're like me and you have 2 battery packs and you wanna make this simpler on yourself, one thing you could do, I'm realizing, just unplug this outer one each time. Your battery pack can stay on, it's charging the headset like it should be, and then when you go to take it off, you can plug that back in just fine. Or you do it the way they intended, especially if you only own 1 battery pack. Just take your battery pack off as you go to put that on there, pop your battery into charge. BoboVR D2, it's coming out on Amazon probably the same day this video drops. Unlike some of the other BoboVR products, this is not life-changing to my VR experience. I don't see this and go, oh my gosh, this is an absolute must-have. If you have an M2 Pro and you only got the 1 battery and you're trying to decide, do I want a second battery or do I want the dock? The dock probably makes sense because you can basically pick this thing up, you can go to play it, you can strap your battery on there. If the battery starts to die, you could toss it back on here. You could still play on your Quest 2's internal battery, and then by the time it's low, your battery's gonna be ready for another round. So that would take you from the normal Quest's 2.5 hours to about 7.5 hours. If you want unlimited playtime, you do have to have a second battery, and then that's gonna have to sit next to this thing. You have to swap those off as you're putting your batteries on. I'd still say it's a good product for the M2 Pro. Makes your life a little bit easier. You don't have to constantly think about charging, but I think about the fact that if you have the M2 Pro and you have your battery pack on there, it's all plugged in. All you have to do is just put a charger here. Is the dock prettier? Is it a nice addition? Does it give you a good spot to put your VR? Yes, but if you have something especially like this, I have a magnetic adapter on here. I can leave my Quest 2 like it sits now, snap a magnet, and it's gonna charge up the whole thing. So this isn't a totally necessary accessory. It is a luxury, and I'm gonna use it. I have it, I like it, I'm gonna use it for this. It's not a necessity, where the M2 Pro, I feel like that's a necessity now that I've used it. The fan on the front, I don't wanna live without that fan. Those were necessities. Now, Bobo's going for luxury. Total price on the dock, $39 US. That's about $40. That puts it well under half the price of an Anker charging dock, comparable to some of the other ones we've reviewed on the channel that charge differently, charge other ways. $60 for the head strap. If you get a second battery, you might not need one as much as the dock. Talking $30 for the battery. It does add up in accessories. $39 is still a pretty competitive price for a charging dock, especially one that's gonna keep your battery ready to go for you too. What do you think out there? Do you use a dock currently? Do you like this dock? Do you want it to also charge up your controllers? I'm used to Anker doing that, so I feel like I'm a little sad that it's not, but at the same time, if I stopped using that, it would free me up to actually put a set of grips or skins on here like I've wanted to. Let me know what you think out there. This should be launching today on Amazon. If you're interested, I will leave a link in the description. But I would say if you don't have anything from BoboVR yet, the strap, the M2 Pro is the place to start. It's what you absolutely need. Then I like their fan. I'd put the dock as like the last priority. Thank you so much for spending your time here with us today, and I will see you in another reality.